In a split second, Karen's smug grin vanished as the veteran's trembling fist clenched the air, inches from her face. The crowd's gasps felt like a noose tightening around her pride. It was a crisp autumn evening in Maplewood, a sleepy town where everyone knew everyone's business, and Karen Miller was the loudest voice in the room. Known for her relentless demands and sharp tongue, she turned the local coffee shop into her personal battleground, berating baristas over foam ratios and lecturing neighbors on proper lawn care. But tonight, at the town's annual Veterans Day vigil, Karen crossed a line no one saw coming, not even her. The park was alive with soft candlelight and murmurs of gratitude as veterans, young and old, gathered to honor their service. Among them was Tom Hargrove, a 68-year-old Vietnam vet, his weathered face etched with stories he rarely told. Pinned to his jacket was his Purple Heart badge, a quiet symbol of a sacrifice that cost him 2 toes and a decade of nightmares. Karen, dressed in a pristine white coat and clutching a megaphone, had appointed herself the unofficial organizer of the event. She strutted through the crowd, barking orders about candle placement and criticizing the mayor's speech for being too political. Tom stood quietly near the memorial statue, his eyes fixed on the flickering flames. Karen's voice grated against the solemn air, but he ignored her until she zeroed in on him. "You there," she snapped, pointing at Tom. "That badge looks tacky on your jacket. It's throwing off the whole aesthetic of the vigil. Hand it over. I'll keep it safe." The crowd froze. Tom's jaw tightened, but his voice was steady. "Ma'am, this is my Purple Heart. It's not for you to touch." Karen scoffed, her laugh slicing through the silence. "Oh, please. It's probably some cheap replica. I'm doing you a favor." Before anyone could react, she reached out, yanked the badge from Tom's jacket, and tucked it into her purse. The crowd erupted in murmurs, phones raised to capture the moment. Tom's face flushed crimson, his hands shaking not from age but from a fury he hadn't felt since the war. "Give it back," he said, voice low and dangerous. Karen doubled down, her voice rising. "I'm in charge here. This event needs to look respectable, not like some flea market." A young woman, Mia, a local barista who'd borne the brunt of Karen's tirades before, stepped forward. "You can't just take his medal. That's his honor." Karen spun on her, eyes blazing. "Stay out of this, little girl. You don't know what respect even means." The tension escalated like a wildfire. Tom took a step toward Karen, his voice now a growl. "That badge was pinned on me by my captain after I dragged 2 men out of a burning chopper. You don't get to touch it." The crowd closed in, some shouting at Karen to return it, others pleading for calm. But Karen, fueled by her own self-righteousness, held her ground. "I'll give it back when I'm ready. This is my event." Mia, trembling but resolute, pulled out her phone and started live-streaming. "This is Karen Miller, stealing a veteran's Purple Heart in front of everyone," she announced, her voice cracking with emotion. The video spread like wildfire across social media, hashtags like Justice for Tom trending within minutes. Karen, oblivious to the growing storm, clutched her purse tighter, sneering at the crowd. "You're all overreacting. It's just a pin." But it wasn't just a pin. To Tom, it was a piece of his soul, a tangible reminder of the brothers he couldn't save and the ones he did. To the crowd, it was a symbol of sacrifice defiled by arrogance. A retired sheriff in the crowd, Ed Coleman, pushed through. "Karen, you're done. Hand it over or I'm calling the feds. That's theft of military property." Karen laughed, but her confidence wavered as she saw the crowd's faces: disgust, betrayal, fury. She didn't return the badge. Instead, she stormed off, purse in hand, muttering about ungrateful people. The vigil dissolved into chaos, with Tom standing frozen, his dignity stripped in front of his town. Mia's video hit national news by morning. Social media exploded, with comments calling Karen everything from a bully to a thief. Veterans groups organized protests outside her pristine suburban home. Hashtags turned into headlines, and Karen's name became synonymous with disgrace. 2 days later, federal agents knocked on her door. Theft of a military decoration, they said, was a federal offense under 18 U.S.C. Section 704. Karen's bravado crumbled as she was handcuffed, her white coat now wrinkled and stained. The badge was recovered from her purse, still clutched like a trophy she thought she deserved. At the precinct, she sobbed, claiming it was a misunderstanding, that she was protecting the event's image. No one bought it. The trial was swift and merciless. Tom took the stand, his voice steady but heavy with grief. That badge isn't just metal. It's every night I woke up screaming, every friend I buried. She took more than a pin, she took my story. Mia testified too, her voice fierce. Karen thought she was above everyone. She didn't just steal from Tom. She stole from every veteran here. The courtroom was silent as the judge delivered the verdict. Guilty. Karen faced a year in prison and a $100,000 fine. Her reputation shattered beyond repair. But the real punishment wasn't the sentence. It was the town's rejection. Karen's friends stopped calling. Her social media was a graveyard of deleted posts and blocked accounts. The coffee shop banned her. The park, once her stage, became a place she couldn't face. Tom, meanwhile, pinned his badge back on, but the weight of the ordeal lingered. He didn't want revenge. He wanted peace, but peace was hard to find when the wound was so public. Mia, now a local hero, started a fundraiser to support veterans' mental health, using the viral moment to do good. She visited Tom often, bringing him coffee and listening to his stories. The town rallied around him, but the scar of that night remained. Karen, out on bail awaiting her sentence, sat alone in her house, staring at the news coverage of her downfall. She'd wanted control, respect, power. Instead, she'd lost everything. The story of Karen and Tom became a cautionary tale, whispered in Maplewood and beyond. It wasn't just about a badge. It was about entitlement, sacrifice, and the cost of crossing lines you don't understand. Karen's fall was a bitter reminder that pride can unravel faster than a cheap sweater, and Tom's quiet strength showed what true honor looked like. In the end, the badge was just a spark. The real fire was the community's rage, the veterans' pain, and the undeniable truth that some mistakes can't be undone. What do you think? Where does justice lie in a story like this? Should Karen's punishment be a lesson, or is there more to the story of right and wrong?